I was learning yesterday Maseches Kedushin with my chavrusa. Been learning for a while and almost finished the Masechta. Right at the end, Pei Aleph, Amud Beis, second to last plot of the Masechta. And I came across a very famous Gemara, which I've seen many times. But every time we see something, we get a new look on it, a new outlook. And the Gemara says, "Ma yison and adam b'chai." Why should a person complain about life when he's alive? And on the side in the Gilyon, they bring a beautiful pshat. The Rashi says, an Eicha, Paragimel, Pasuk Ramches, Mipili Elyon Lo Teitziros. Rashi says there that all bad that comes to us doesn't come to us from Hashem. It comes to us exactly from our bears. We're the direct cause of all difficulties in our life. All difficulties in our life are the direct effect of our bears. In fact, I just heard a shir this morning with my friend, Rabbi Daniel Gladstein. He brought this from Rabbi Mishlei as well. He says this idea, beautiful idea, that we in fact bring the difficulties of ourselves. This is what Rashi says in Eicha. Rashi in the Gemara here in Kedushin, Tapel and Beis, something very difficult. Rashi says, why should a person complain? He's alive. Right? I do such a great chesed for him. Right? I give him life. And this, as I was arguing to my chavrusa, I feel it's a very difficult statement from Rashi. So I don't understand. Hashem gives us a beautiful present of life. Gives us a beautiful present. But does that mean I shouldn't complain? A person who's alive, but he has problems in his shalom bayis, his domestic tranquility, his chinuch, his children, his brias, his health, or his parnasa, his livelihood, right? Does that mean that life is not a good present? It's a beautiful present, but he's upset because he has a difficult life, right? So I don't understand what Rashi means. Lami yisonam adam chai. I saw brought from Rav Chaim Shmulevitz in Sichos Musar, Tafshin Lamed Aleph Chavtes. He brings from Leib Chasm, one of the great Baalei Musar. He says as follows. He says that the correct outlook is that we should view life as like you just won $1 billion in the lottery. I don't know if they give that much money. Let's say $100 million. Powerball lottery. Just $100 million. And then he finds out that his 6-year-old son broke a plate. He's going to be upset. He just won $100 million. Like, he could buy a plate factory. He's not going to get upset about a plate. So too, says Rav Leib Chassid, a person shouldn't get upset when bad things happen in life, because there's so much good. It's batal b'shishim and much more. All the bad things that happen to us are null and void, as it were, vis-a-vis the good things, the many, many good things that happen to us. Therefore, we should never get upset. It's a beautiful pshat, but I'm not quite in agreement that this is what Rashi is saying. Because Rashi is saying, why should a person get upset? He has life, right? And Rashi, that could work with what he's saying. But then he says, V'lo love me, so I didn't bring him death. Right? So it doesn't seem like he's saying that the point here is that the good should override the bad. It's the fact that I didn't kill him. V'lo love me, so these are the words that Rashi is saying. And I believe we could suggest the following explanation, Rashi. That we live with mistaken philosophy. We live with the philosophy that I'm alive today, I was alive yesterday, I'll be alive tomorrow. That's not so simple. Especially considering the fact that many of the transgressions we do are very, very severe. Lashon hara, or other averas, which are pogam and kvod shemaim, which are not appropriate for Hashem's great honor. These transgressions that we do, in fact, we really do deserve to die because of it. Right? Hashem is a very, very great chesed. Instead of killing us, Rahman Islam, he brings little things like not being able to pay for your passport delivery or having a little bit of a cough. We have to understand that instead of dying, we're having these small difficulties in our health, in our purse, in our shalom bayis, in our chinuch banim. And some of them are not so small. Some of them are pretty big. But even so, even if they're big, but we should recognize that they're from Hashem and that Hashem caused them. And not just Hashem caused them, but they're in place of dying. If we knew the difficulty to get our passports, to arrange payment to the Israeli post office, was saving us from death, we would sing with joy. We would dance and sing. This is the way we have to view every single difficulty in life. Who knows what affairs we have? Who knows what our real punishment should be? Hashem gives us a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of what we really deserve, and He counts that as the punishment. We should sing and dance. That's what Rashi is saying. Every time we have a punishment. Now, don't try it at home because people might think you're crazy. But one time Roshach was seen in the snow dancing, and someone saw him. Someone that I know saw him, and he said, Roshach, why are you dancing in the snow? He said, I just want to speak to the Brisker Rav. Every time I speak to the Brisker Rav, I want to dance, but I'm worried that people think that I'm crazy. But today it's snowing and no one's outside. So I figured I'd get away with singing and dancing. So if you're on a snowy day in Jerusalem and the streets are deserted because they closed the whole country down when there's threat of 2 centimeters of snow, so then you could sing and dance if something small happens to you. And you come to the great intellectual recognition that this is because perhaps Hashem is saving me from death. This small little difficulty is likely saving me from the worst punishment possible. Thank Hashem profusely. Kol ma'adam rachman. Everything He does is a very, very great chesed. So let's keep this very powerful idea in mind, that I believe the source of it is from Rashi. In Kedushin Daf Peil from Beis, Rashi says, why should a person who's alive complain? The boy is love. Why does he complain things that happen? Kol chesed sheyoseh. Shnesat l'chaim, I gave him life. Well, I didn't bring him death. Why should he be dead? Because that small little punishment that he received, and it might be spread over time, it might be 100 little punishments like that add up together, kind of like coupons, that you could trade in death for 100 small difficulties. We would all run for such an opportunity. A person, instead of getting very, very sick, instead of getting very, very poor, has a lot of small difficulties. Never complain about anything. In fact, the Aruch HaShulchan Paskins Lach L'Maisa. The reason Parsha Aman was not included in Tefillah, even though it's such a critical part of a Jew's life. Vitamins and Amunah. To Yerushalmi promises whoever says it will have his parnasa, his sustenance guaranteed. The reason it wasn't included in the Seder Tefillah, in the regular prayers, is because there's complaining mentioned. Complaining is terrible. It's awful. It's the worst thing in the world. I can't think of anything worse. It's terrible, terrible, terrible. Okay, that was a little bit of a joke. But don't complain. Don't complain. Instead, think about Rashi saying that this small little tribulation might be instead of dying. And you should fill us with the greatest joy man can turn.